Hey there, Sandra here from the Schwowin's Nest. Today I'm doing a Canada A collab with some fellow Canadian YouTube creators. We wanted to showcase our red and white patriotic decor for Canada Day. I'll have all of the channel links down in my description box, so when you're done with my video, I would love for you to go check out the playlist and their channels. My first project is all about the red maple leaf on our Canada flag. I got this at the Dollar Tree, but what I'm using it for right now is just to trace the inside of the maple leaf, so I have a guide. I've collected some small sticks and branches from my backyard, and I'm going to use this to create the shape of a maple leaf. The maple leaf pencil outline on the paper is going to help me create the shape. I'm just going to simply take branches and break them into the lengths I need and follow the design template to create a stunning maple leaf. Right now, I'm just laying the sticks out in the pattern that I want, and when I'm ready to glue, I'll be using some hot glue to put them all together. I'm using my AdTech hot glue gun, and I'm going to be gluing the sticks together with their sides. So I'm not gluing it down onto the paper. I'm going to be gluing the sticks together side by side so they are a free-form shape without any of the paper backing. Here's the shape of my maple leaf. I have all of my wood pieces glued together to themselves, and now I'm just going to fill in some of the larger spaces that are showing through. I don't want all of the spaces to be filled in, but some of the larger cracks where the wood was a little wonky or a little bent, I'm going to just fill those in with some smaller pieces. I really love how this maple leaf turned out, but I did want to add a couple of extra things to really make it look like a maple leaf. And that are just some small sticks that I'm going to put around the edges and make the outline of the shape of it stand out a little bit more. I got this bag at the Dollar Tree, and it's a cute little red and white buffalo check, perfect for my Canada Day DIYs. So I'm going to cut out a large enough piece that will fit onto a piece of paneling that I grabbed, which is going to be the backing of my sign with the maple leaf. Now I need to make a frame. I've got these pieces of pallet wood that I ripped down using my table saw, and I sanded them down just to get off any of the rough edges. And now I'm using this homemade chalk paint, which is a taupe color and some baby powder. This is a recipe that I've shared on my channel, which I originally got from Holly over at Hot Humble Pie. Once that first coat was dry, I'm using my Folk Art Home Decor chalk paint in dark gray, which is actually called Maui Sand, and I'm going to do a dry brush right on top of the taupe color. I want this to look a little bit like the branches, sort of a driftwood color, so this taupe and the gray on top really makes it look great and brings out the wood grain. I found this piece of paneling in my stash, and it happened to be the perfect size for my sign. The bag is sticking out a little bit on each side, but that's going to be okay. I'm going to be able to just staple that right onto the frame. So the next step is to take my Weld Bond glue and put a generous amount of glue down and then glue the bag right on top of the panel. I used my hand to smooth out any air bubbles, and then I laid it upside down and put a couple of heavy books on it until it dried, just to keep it nice and flat. The paint on the frame is dry, so I've flipped it over, put everything in place, and I'm just going to use my staple gun to put a few staples in on each corner to hold the frame together. I used my staple gun to also attach the back of the frame to the frame itself, but you could also use a combination of hot glue and a permanent glue. Project number 2 is a little bit on the nautical side. I had my husband cut me a few of these little buoy pieces. They're from 4x4 pressure treated lumber, which are just leftover fence posts. And what I'm doing is just giving it a bit of a dry brushing. That first side was a little thick, so you will see me do things a little bit lighter from this point forward, but I thought that would be really cool to just give it a bit of a distressed rustic look. This maple leaf is the inside of the first maple leaf that I showed you that I got at Dollar Tree. So they were actually connected together. What I wanted to do with this is just outline and have different parts of the maple leaf showing up on the buoy on the different sides. So I'm going to trace out what I have here, and then I'll turn it over on its side, trace one leaf over there, and then one leaf on the other side. Since Canada's colors are red and white and the maple leaf on our flag is always red, I am taking my red chalk paint and just a small stippling brush and just kind of pouncing all around the edge. I didn't want to take a large brush because I wanted to make sure I got the details of the outline of the leaf really nice and sharp. I'll just continue this until I have all three sides of the maple leaf filled in. Again, I like things rustic, so I'm giving the maple leaf a little bit of a dry brush with my linen white. Adding some nautical rope just completes the look. The final project I have for you today is really super cute. I have this large jar from the Dollar Tree that I had previously painted a little bit of white, but you can see these cute little napkins that I picked up at the Dollar Tree. They are so adorable, and they actually have the word A on them, which I thought was perfect for our Canada A collab. I'll only need to use one napkin for this craft, which was amazing. There's two of these panels on the four squares of the napkin, and there's also two layers. So I'll only be using the top layer that has the printed graphic on it. Using some Mod Podge, I'm going to work in sections and apply the napkin to just the glass part of the jar. I'm not going to do anything with the white portion at the bottom yet. I have a different idea for that a little bit later on. So I'm putting the Mod Podge on in some long, thin strokes. I don't want to have any globbing or tons of glue on there, so you can see that I'm just kind of going over it to make sure that it's a nice, smooth surface. I'm going to lay the napkin down onto the glue and just smooth it out with my fingers. I just want to make sure that there aren't any air bubbles and that the napkin is sticking to the Mod Podge in all of the places it needs to. Then I'll just continue until the glass part is fully covered. I wanted this to have more of a patriotic color, so I did like the white at the bottom, but I did decide to use my red chalk paint and give it two coats just so it would have more of a solid base at the bottom. The white was nice, but once I put the red on, I really liked that a lot better. No project of mine would be complete without some dry brushing. I'm going to use linen white chalk paint and just dab a little bit on, and I just want to go in a top-down motion. I want the dry brushing to just show up a little bit of the texture that the red chalk paint made, but I want it to be up and down and not side to side. I'd like to thank Lisa over at Lisa and Company for getting all of us Canadians together for this collab. I hope you enjoyed the video, and if you did, hit that red subscribe button and stick around for a while. You can also click the bell to get notified when I upload new videos. Thanks for watching.